Now, bringing you the very best in New Hampshire-based local music on IPMNation.com and 100.1 The Planet, this is Local Outbreak. These mics up, and we've got Cody Pope and Byron G here with us in the studio. Hey guys.
Hey, good morning, man. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, welcome back. And I hope you weren't waiting outside too long. It's a little chilly today.
No, it was perfect timing.
I gotta adjust this camera here, get you guys in the shot. Of course, we are on Facebook and YouTube and all that stuff. There we go. How have you guys been? What's going on? Have you been releasing new music, or what have you been up to?
Yeah, so in October, we just released our sophomore full-length album, Giant Steps in Gate City.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we did our big release show for that, and it's been a pretty wild ride since then.
Where'd you do the release show?
So we did it in our hometown in Nashua. We rented a hall and put together this whole experience. We had a caterer come in and cater the event, and had a photo booth and had a bunch of the artists from Hellhound open up the night. It was really cool.
Nice. Yeah. You guys must know. Do you know Mike McDowell, the healer? Did you run into him on his way out?
We literally just shook hands and
good.
Met as we were.
Okay.
He was heading out as we were coming in.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I'm looking forward to chopping it up with him more.
Yeah. He's doing some great stuff. And you must know Eleanor and Andre from.
So I actually just met them super recently as well.
Kidding.
Yeah. Maybe a week ago or so. I just got to go to New Hampshire Underground and hang out with them for a bit. They're awesome people.
Oh, excellent. I don't think they've done a full hip hop show. I mean, obviously Six Minds Combined performs there, but yeah, they should do you should do something with them, do a big hip hop show. That'd be fun.
So we're hoping to do something. We're hoping the dates will align and that we can make something happen soon. I really like their space. I think that it's really conducive to fostering a positive live music and arts scene, and they offer resources and spaces for people that I think are really valuable. So
right.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they're capable of doing with that. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm dying to hear you guys. You always perform when you come on the show, which is wonderful. And now the real test, of course, is always making sure that what have you got? What do you call that, Byron?
This is the Roland SP 404 MK2.
Okay. And what does that do for the uninitiated?
It does a little bit of everything. It's a sampler, so you could create full songs on here.
Yeah.
I use it mainly for our live shows and stuff like that, so I can load up pads and I can manipulate the sound.
Yeah.
Kind of live as we're going. So
okay.
You never really get the same experience twice with these types of machines.
Right. Yeah, for those listening live, if you're wondering how these guys are going to perform live, that's what. Let's see if we can hear that. And I'm not hearing anything yet, but I think I know why. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Nice, quick and easy.
Hello, no one is available to take your call.
Yeah, this is always that's always the moment, right? when you guys come on, it's let's hope this works.
What did we do last time?
Let's hope this works. Well, the first time you came on, we did the flash drive option, the very first time in the old station,
right.
And
that was our first album together too.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. How many times have you guys been? Is this?
This is our third time now.
No, is it?
Yeah.
It's not your fourth?
No.
I think you've been up here before, though.
We had done stuff up in Laconia.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why.
We did Local Outbreak up in Laconia.
That's why I'm thinking that. Yeah.
I think for both of us, it's been this is our third time.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did our first album was Meet Me in Gate City, so we played some of those songs, and then the next time was we released an EP called Renaissance Park.
Was it?
I think it was the Renaissance Park. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have released a lot of music. It's hard to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Well, do you want to perform something or?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
You have No Sugar Added.
Yep.
It's a good way to warm up. This is this was the first single that we released from the new album.
Okay.
It's the second track. It's called No Sugar Added.
Okay.
Check, check. I've been in a daze, mind's a maze and ablaze. I've been catching fire since before the 12th grade. I had this desire but couldn't get out my way. Now I'm double the age, still rewinded the days. Can't believe with all I've done, I'm still looking back. Been cleaning up, but still remember the cooking crack. The strength I had for the needle never quite took it back. Some days I still find that I'm quite shook. In fact, the light keeps going out. Maybe that's a sign for me. I have accepted that one day will be time for me. Someone's revenge? I suppose that it's fine with me. Nothing in life often happen with the time and sweet. All I can do, work to build a good now and then. Stay in the sun to make up for days enshrouded in dens. I am the howling man standing upon the howling winds. Night of the hunter, the preacher upon the prowl again. Not perfect, not even close to alright. Can't remember the last time I slept all night. Eyes wide open, but I need another hour. I just fell asleep already, time for the shower. No sugar, no sugar. I just need water. Mentally I am padded. No sugar,
Added.
no sugar.
Added.
Somewhere between happy and mad. Apocalypse now, anxiety and alarms again. Hope my horrible ways could never harm a friend. Some men crossed me and never saw him again. Even a heathen or a demon can fall from a sin. Who called it again? I'm not sorry to them. Drowning in my own flood, I hardly can swim. Then I stop too late, how could I be so selfish? Do the stupidest things, but know that I'm not helpless. Bad patterns, habits I need to learn to break. I'm mad scattered, this matter I need to learn to shake. Wield extinguisher, or light the match to burn the lake. Every roll of the dice, the one determined fate. Slipping into the void for just a few hours. Doing my best to not flip, I got no new flower. My dreamscape is the place that I do scour. In search of answers like how I could better use power. Not perfect, not even close to alright. Can't remember the last time I slept all night. Eyes wide open, but I need another hour. I just fell asleep already, time for the shower. No sugar added, no sugar added. I just need water, mentally I am padded. No sugar added, no sugar added. Somewhere between being happy and maddened.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Cody Pope and Byron G here with
There we
us
go.
live in
Okay.
studio on this Saturday morning. Oh, the headphones,
couldn't
yeah.
hear, I couldn't hear everybody at first. So
Oh,
I was like, oh crap, what's going on?
You made it work. You made it work.
Volume's a magical thing.
Yes, yes. Now, tell us about, for people who are not familiar, so because you referred to it, Hellhound Publishing.
Yeah.
What is that exactly for people who don't know?
So Hellhound Publishing is a record label that I founded in 2018 and that Byron now co-owns with me. And so that is essentially our creative house where we not only do we distribute and produce all of our music, but we've been fortunate to sign and release music for some artists that we're really close with as well.
Okay.
We do music, we do some books, and we do podcasts. Those are really like our big things right now.
Okay. And you've talked about that on the show before. Has that kind of grown in terms of who you're working with? Like, do you have more artists that you're working with, or I don't remember who we because I think the first time you talked about it on the show, you had just kind of started that, or you had started working together on that. I think.
Yeah, I think when we came on and put out Meet Me in Gate City, we had only released a few records at that point. And now with Giant Steps in Gate City, it's our 15th release on the record label.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel very fortunate to say that after all this time, but it's been quite the wild ride.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? Wow. So who else are you working with currently? Who are you releasing music for?
So our roster that's active right now consists of mostly producers.
Okay.
But so they go out and perform a lot of instrumental shows, and we have instrumental albums out for them as well.
Yeah.
So we represent Even Though, who is originally from Nashua, but is now based out of the Worcester area. He has like this very like ethereal lo-fi kind of sound, but then because he comes from like a boom bap background, there's like a really cool blend of like a almost ambient boom bap kind of sound.
Okay.
We represent an artist named Tripsy, who's based out of Boston, Massachusetts area. he has a very electronic heavy sound. I like to compare him to like an Aphex Twin or a Fatboy Slim, something along like very like high energy, like party music.
Yeah.
We also represent 8 Bizza as well.
Oh, okay.
I know you know Bizza.
Yep.
He has obviously been a long-time contributor to the label and to my music as well. And so he's always
mad scientist.
Yeah. He's always been a big part of the equation as well. And that's really the core of like artists that we have releases coming out for.
Okay.
But for 25, we're hoping to kind of expand the palette a little more.
Yeah.
We've kind of changed the way that we operate as a label a bit. And we've also we've moved our headquarters. We had been in the same place for over 10 years.
Wow.
So now we just moved into a new place, and that's really evolved how we can operate as a label in a lot of capacities. So we may not have as many releases coming out in 25, but we fortunately have like really big plans and a lot more resources to apply to them now, which is exciting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Now, why the when you talk about the changes in terms of how you do things, is that something that does that come from kind of learning as you go, or or does some of it? I'm curious if some of it has to do too with the music business is constantly changing, and now. And I don't think we've ever really talked about this aspect before, but now AI is kind of really changing things. And I mean, does that play a role?
I would say, and you might have a different experience to speak to it. For me, as like a label owner, I always sought to be the person that I thought I would have wanted to have around as an artist.
Yeah.
But I learned that I wasn't being the person that the artist needed, and that those are two separate things where you could want more than you actually need. And so not everybody's wants parallel. And so I had to learn how to manage the artist better on the release side of things, because with some of the early releases we put out on the label, we were very involved in the record in terms of like being in weekly meetings, trying to make plans, and some of the artists we were literally tracking all their music in our free time and doing the artwork I've done the artwork for most of the releases on the label. So we were like super involved, which feels good. But I think what we learned is that artists need to kind of finish the idea on their own and then kind of like be like, we were trying to build things out of scratch with an artist.
Yeah.
And really the artist has to kind of have that idea and figure out what they would do even if we weren't in the picture.
Okay.
And if they were going to do that anyways, that's where we can be of the most service to them.
Okay.
But as artists, we have certain expectations for ourselves. And so it's not fair to apply those expectations to everybody unilaterally. Every artist requires a specific kind of like catered to means of getting their thing done. And if we love the art enough, we're going to work on how to be that to each artist and still maintain the integrity of what we're trying to do personally.
That makes sense because everyone's process is different.
Yeah.
And now what about AI in terms of like releasing music? Do you have to, does it get complicated now with, I mean, it's incredible what's going on. Like I see, like major labels are suing AI companies, and there's all this mess. Like, do you have to? Does it become a consideration when releasing music? Like, is there an AI sample or something in here? Is there something that is going to cause us a problem down the road? And are there headaches that come with that?
So I think personally, there's good and there's bad for the sample-based producers that like to dig in, old records of like old crates of records and stuff like that, which I am one of them.
Yeah.
It makes it a little bit harder to kind of chop and when it comes to release time, if you have samples on your beats, you kind of, it's different now. It's definitely AI's picking up on a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that there's a place for it, because there definitely still is. And a lot of, Snoop and Dre are releasing. I mean, it's probably a little bit different because they have the actual stems from the artist, but
right.
There's different avenues where you could go for that type of stuff now.
Yeah.
But on the other side of things, I've been using AI to generate chord progressions and different sounds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've, you can.
Byron, can you pull that mic up a little bit?
Sorry.
I noticed it was just dropping out. Yeah.
Is that better?
That's better. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
It starts to
Your
droop.
voice was cutting out.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
Want to make sure we can hear you. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, on the other side of things, I've been using AI to generate melodies and chords and picking my keys and blending and mashing
Yeah.
a bunch of like AI generated stuff and basically using them as my samples as of late.
Yeah.
And chopping it up that way.
Okay.
And doing it that way, it's all like you're the creator, so there's no royalties or there's no copyright infringement cases that you run into doing it that way. And it's different. There's a million different possibilities. And I'm the type of guy, it's like, as we evolve as, producers and just musicians, if you're not using all of the elements that are at your hands these days, you're going to fall behind.
Yeah.
So there's good and there's bad. It's just all about how you look at it, I think.
Yeah. Adaptability is so important.
Absolutely.
And adapting to technologies. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that in terms of doing a radio show. Like there was a time when a radio show would just be on the radio, but we've had to adapt to now podcasting and streaming and all of that. And if you don't do that, if you don't adapt, you fall behind.
Yeah. I would never take someone's voice
right
and have them say specific lyrics. Like I wouldn't use AI or anything like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of creating, I'm definitely messing around with AI when it comes to creating melodies and stuff like that.
Sure.
So
I think the thing that's important with AI, and that's why I'm glad you spoke on it, because you have more experience with it. I don't, but I just from a outside looking in perspective kind of thing, I feel like there's a lot of fear around AI taking on creative tasks and things of that nature. And I think the ultimate responsibility or obligation is that if we don't determine how AI is going to be used, other things are going to determine that for us. Right. And so it's rather than being afraid of AI and being so against it, figure out how to implement it into your life in the ways that you want. It's my conversations with most people is that it's you want AI to take care of menial tasks and things that are time consuming and take away from you living your most life.
Right.
So it's if we sit back and wait for AI to become what it is, it's going to take the things we love instead, because nobody stepped in and said no, I want to do this part, do this task for me instead.
Yeah.
And I don't have any experience using it. So that's why it's hard for me to really put my foot down one way or another. But I just feel we have to kind of we are the users of AI. So we have to dictate what purpose it's going to serve to us before it becomes consequential.
Yeah. Got to be proactive with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I think for independent artists, it definitely can be an attribute to you, because as an independent artist, you have to wear so many hats.
Right.
Whether it's creating the artwork or whether it's, coming up with videos or whatever. And AI can be a huge help for that stuff if you're not specifically a drawing artist to make up your own artwork, whatever it is. You
right.
know?
Yeah.
You can definitely use AI to help you out on that side of things too.
And even just task stuff, I would think more so, as somebody who makes artwork, it's I like that side of things.
Yeah.
But I'm sure even as maybe an engineer or a radio show producer, there's certain engineering things where it's I wish my mixer just always set to these levels, or I wish my fader just always went to this thing, or I wish my preset always went, these are kind of the initial, these are things that AI could probably do for us, is set these kind of prerequisite things so that when we go to use our creative tools, they're in the right settings or whatever.
Just like everything else, as long as you put the time behind to learn the things, and you can manipulate anything in your favor.
Yeah.
As long as you put the time in and the effort to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree. Well said. You guys want to play another one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds, what do you think?
If you're just joining us, we have Cody Pope and Byron G here with us live in studio. Let me get that. There we go.
I gotta find this joint.
Yeah.
Some days I wake up and I wish I hadn't. I hate that I'm sad, but my loved ones feel so glad then. Easily tripping, don't know why I'm so mad, man. Got a lot to be grateful for, even when I'm down bad, man. Some days I wake up and I wish I hadn't. I hate that I'm sad, but my loved ones feel so glad then. Easily tripping, don't know why I'm so mad, man. Got a lot to be grateful for, even when I'm down bad, man. Wake up in my brain already, feeling dark. Hit the couch already, chase a spark. Contemplating, am I sick or unhealthy? Is this depression the karma for unwealthy? Enough clarity to know that I'm the enemy. The one destroying me, the one should be defending me. Gotta take time enough to know you can't make time, so make mine filled with the things that shape lives. What you heard on the grapevine might not taste right, so you don't gotta make wine, you'll still make flights. Plant that seed that gon' water your family. We the real money tree, life's obstacles, standard fees. Still days I'm fighting to get through it, but I survive when I remain my truest. When the fight come at your door, you can't be true. You miss that chance, might as well. Some days I wake up and I wish I hadn't. I hate that I'm sad, but my loved ones feel so glad then. Easily tripping, don't know why I'm so mad, man. Got a lot to be grateful for, even when I'm down bad, man. Some days I wake up and I wish I hadn't. I hate that I'm sad, but my loved ones feel so glad then. Easily tripping, don't know why I'm so mad, man. Got a lot to be grateful for, even when I'm down bad, man. Some days I wake up.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, we have Cody Pope and Byron G here with us live in studio. And yeah, I love that track, and it's very relatable. I have those days.
Right? That's the thing. You know, I feel like most of us do. And
yeah,
when we're in those moments, you kind of feel like you're the only person, and it's like, man, how is like the world really like crashing down on me? But when you realize how many people in your life have made it to that next day, it's like, all right, let me just try and like breathe for a minute and and stop thinking about what's weighing on me and like figure out what's like lifting me instead.
Yeah. No, I like that a lot. I'm pretty public about it. I struggle with depression, and so I can relate to that. You know, I hear those lyrics, and it's like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Now, are you? So the new album, it just came out.
It came out in October.
So pretty recent.
Yeah.
Are you already working on the next one? It seems like you guys are pretty prolific. You put out a lot of music.
Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff in the vault right now, and we definitely have some releases planned for next year. But we're gonna honestly spend a lot of time with this record. We've been working on visuals for it. We do these seminars called Inside the Music. We do them at Nashua Public Library, and we take songs from our records and kind of break down the lyrics and the stories and the rhyme patterns, the references, and he'll break down the stems of how the song was composed. And we put one together for Giant Steps, and we didn't get to do it in time for the release, so that's going to be one of the things that we do this spring. Is return of the library seminar. And so we really just want to give people time to take this record in. It's 18 songs. Yeah. And we have a documentary coming out for it on Monday, which really covers like from when we did Meet Me in Gate City till where we're at now. And so there was like a lot of like obstacles along the way of getting the album out. Yeah. And so because it took us so long to get here, we're really hoping that we can afford to take time with this record over next year.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to take in. You know, it's 18 songs. It's a very like in-depth personal record. It's essentially like the follow-up to, you know, the first record that we did, Meet Me in Gate City, was shortly after we met as people, you know, and like we met, and within a year and some change, we had a full-length album out and had been playing all over the region and running this label together. And so much has happened in that time, and we've learned a lot. We've both gone through so much in our personal lives, and so the album is really a document of so much of that that it's hard to like move on to the next thing already.
Oh, interesting.
Where like we have an EP that we had already recorded. I have a project with Bizza that we're hoping to put out next year.
Oh, cool.
I have a live band record that he's helped me engineer that we've been working on for a couple of years. We worked with some great artists from Maine. So we have stuff that we're hoping to put out next year.
Yeah.
But it just is everything's kind of happening on a feeling now, where we did so much stuff on setting deadlines that we thought fit within our marketplace, and our audience has really shown us that we can dictate our own marketplace, and the best way to do that is to not compromise the integrity of these records. And so we're really hoping, and frankly, you know, just to be like honest about it, the record is doing very well in regards to reception. People that hear it love the record. People have been buying the CDs, which is great. The show was fantastic. But in terms of like the typical benchmarks that you're trying to reach in audience growth and stuff like that, we're just not there yet. We're a long ways away from being where we're at comfortably in growing our audience. And so it seems like it would be detrimental of us to move on from this record too fast when there's so much substance there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
We also went to a legit studio this time around too.
Oh,
Before it was all in house. Like we were doing all the engineering, mixing, mastering, all that stuff. This time, due to, you know, time and our mental capacities with work and stuff like that, it just wasn't gonna come out the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
So we made the decision to bring in Mertz, who Cody had previously worked with, who's engineer down at the bridge in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and he was kind of like the third member of the team to help us put this one together.
Yeah.
And he absolutely crushed it, blew it out the park, like hit it right out the park.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the synergy between the three of us was fantastic. Every time we were down in his studio, we recorded the whole thing down there. And he was like a huge part of this record. So sonically, it's definitely like our best sounding record too.
Okay.
It really, it allowed us to be like, it allowed us to operate as a duo, as artists.
Yeah.
Where doing Meet Me in Gate City, even though we were a duo, he had to be the Rick Rubin and like run the boards and make sure that I was doing what I needed to do. And so this time was like, we both just got to be the artists and have our vision be brought to life. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, because I do think that also like played a big part in making this
People
record
definitely
what it was.
Yeah.
The upgrade sonically for sure.
Yeah.
It's a huge, and it's supposed to, you know, it's like, this is part of a greater story. And so, you know, from Meet Me in Gate City, it was a lot of getting to know how to operate with each other, and us getting to know who our audience was now, because this music was quite a bit different than my solo music.
Yeah.
And now with Giant Steps, it's exactly that. Like, we were willing to challenge ourselves. We were willing to challenge the listeners. We were willing to challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
We were willing to step outside of all of our comfort zones and just make a record that we felt was like a strong body of work. And I'm happy to like stand on that for a long time.
Yeah. Was that a difficult decision to because you had done the previous tracks in-house?
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah.
We tried, frankly. Like we took a couple different attempts at doing, so we were going to do EP3 before the new album. We did Pound of Flesh, then we did Renaissance Park, and we have one more that we already have written. And so we went to record that, and we just weren't feeling it. There was just something and that's when I think he started to realize he was getting burnt from the engineering, the mixing, the mastering, all that stuff. And
it was juggling family with work and
Yeah.
going at the studio till 2 a.m. and then waking up and going to work and doing the same thing. It was
It's a lot. Yeah.
It was a lot. And we have been doing that for like 3 years straight. So
Wow.
it was like,
Yeah.
it was time to
you don't get that
hand
same
it off to the
fulfillment.
professionals at
Right,
that
right,
point.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get that same fulfillment when it feels like work all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
You
what
know?
it was definitely becoming to feel. It was starting to feel like work. And that's the complete opposite of where you want to be as an artist. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
But it was also like a blessing in disguise because the songs
Yeah.
for EP3, while we love them, by the time we kind of figured out that we wanted to like go back into the studio setting, those songs wouldn't have worked for the time period that they would have been done. You know, there was just a sonic appeal to having them in like the springtime. They just have that
okay.
kind of energy, and we didn't start recording until the beginning of summer. So by the time we were done, it was going to be late summer, fall.
Yeah.
And we would have just been putting out songs just to put something out and just to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
And instead we have this body of work that just like everything made sense. And it was like, it just really reminded us of like, we can't always dictate the timelines. We just have to make the art, and the art is going to tell us, not to be like, you know, but like the art is really going to set the terms of like what we can do. Like nothing we say matters until we have a body of work in our hands, and then we can, you know, get to the starting line.
Yeah, that makes sense. By the way, you mentioned, so you've done most of the artwork for the artists who've released through Hellhound.
Yeah.
Is there is there any kind of a, like, do you have a specific style that you apply to? The reason I'm curious is in the past, it probably isn't really a thing anymore, but I just remember like back in the 90s or in the 2000s, like No Limit Records, you know, there was a very specific style that all those
the
releases.
pen and pixel style.
Yeah. I'm curious if like, do you have a specific style that you try to use, or?
I don't. The only thing I guess I would really say about my style is that I'm not like a traditionally trained graphic designer. I don't have any sort of like art background or anything.
Yeah.
I learned how to use Photoshop purely because I wanted to be a guy starting a record label.
Yeah.
And so the root of my like artistic style is very photo heavy. So I love when somebody can either give me a photo or give me a reference or something, and that is typically like my canvas, and I can like creatively build from there.
Okay.
And like I'm learning how to do other stuff, but I would say that through the 15 releases that we've put out that I've done covers for, they're very like photo centric, where it's about a certain like character or a certain idea, and then I'll just kind of design around that idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Shout
that's
out
cool.
to Robert.
Yeah.
Who, he's the one who basically took all the pictures of us
for
at
the
night for the last EP and this album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was just the artistry in him. Like he was literally laying down almost like head in traffic to get that perfect angle.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he's one of a kind.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's actually based here in Manchester.
Yeah.
His name is Robert Bates.
Okay.
And you can find his Robert Bates photography, and on Instagram he goes by Domino Sonata. But he's also like he's very into cinema, like local cinema and film and film history and stuff like that too. So
you could totally feel it when you see his photos.
Really? Yeah.
He's incredible, man. And I think what Nick did Meet Me in Gate City.
Yep.
So
okay.
Nick's his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot of like close people in our network that shoot photos, and then I just like am fortunate enough to take those and manipulate them.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Very cool. You guys want to play another one?
Sure.
Yeah. What do we got?
Dying to hear more.
What do we got in the docket here?
If you're just joining us, we have Cody Pope and Byron G here with us live in studio.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
All right.
A little short one.
If you're watching at home, you can snap with us.
Elevated to the gallows like a Miles in France. Life be hitting differently, do miles of dance. Might have 1,000 yard stare or a mile in trance. Life can be so short, you're running miles in pants. Don't care for people, but I smile cause why not? This life the only one that I know that I got. All this third eye jazz got me feeling like Cyclops. Every year a little closer to feeling like my pops. Frustrated with my nation, probably for different reasons. Opposing opinions on opposition, committing treason. I'm from where you gotta embrace multiple seasons. One day it's spring, one day you taking the leaves in. Still jump hurdles, what I got these long legs for. Ramp up my protein, what I eat all these eggs for. I grew up between exit 1 and exit 4. But even as a youth, I knew I had to exit more.
A little short one.
That is a short one. Wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of those little kind of like interludes between a lot of the tracks on this one.
Yeah. No, I like it though. One day it's spring, next day you're taking the leaves in. That is true. That is how our weather tends to go.
Especially up here.
Yes. We have Cody Pope and Byron G here with us live in studio and sounding great. Are you guys playing out much? Are you doing a lot of live shows these days? Or?
So I would say this was probably our slowest year. We did a run in March when we put out Renaissance Park. We were real lucky. We got to go out with Ari the Rugged Man for a night. We did some nights in Vermont.
Yeah.
Came here. You were the first stop on that whole shebang.
That's the
right.
show. That's okay. Going back to before we were on air, we were here for Renaissance Park, and that was the show that the computer crashed.
Oh, yes.
Because we played Let It Grow the first time.
Yep.
Yep. That's
that was
the
part
loss.
of that run.
Then that same night we had R.A. the Rugged Man at Taffeta.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. Wow.
But after that run of shows, it was pretty quiet for the most part. We did something here or there.
A lot of life stuff was going on.
Yeah.
We started working on so we started EP3 basically so Renaissance Park came out in March. And by the end of April, we were already jumping into EP3. And then by the end of May, we realized everything just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And by the end of June, we were already down at the bridge working on the new album.
Okay.
So it was just one of those things that and then we spent so much time doing the album, and we knew what we wanted to do for the release show. And we knew if we did too many shows beforehand that would kind of spoil or saturate it.
Yeah.
So once we started working on the album, we made a very conscious effort to be look, we're going to not perform until this show. We want people to really this is the next time they experience us is going to be hearing these songs in a room that we booked with our sound, our lighting, our caterers that we brought, just a show the way that we think it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of the best decisions we made because the event turned out really memorable.
Excellent. By the way, what was R.A. the Rugged Man like? He seems like an intense dude.
He's intense.
Yeah,
he's
very intense.
Yeah.
We didn't get to meet him. I think I've opened for him 3 or 4 times, and I've literally never met him. So
oh, really? Yeah.
That's just how rappers are, though.
Yeah. He I heard an interesting story about him. Do you guys know Kay Daver?
So I don't know him personally, but I feel like the name sounds familiar, and I'm pretty sure we played a show years and years ago in the past, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, he opened for R.A. the Rugged Man.
I bet you that was probably I bet you I might have been on that show too. Then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe that's where I know him from.
Yeah, he told me an interesting story, which I won't repeat. But
I would never want to be his live sound engineer.
Oh my god,
great artist, but man, I felt bad for that guy that night.
Really? Why did the engineer take some verbal abuse?
Yeah, and it's he did. And I mean, if you're an artist, RA's been around for over 2 decades.
Oh yeah,
so it's there's a level of expectation.
Yeah,
that
you got to get your
earn.
stuff right if you're gonna
Oh yeah.
do anything with them, which is he earned that. So
Have you guys ever seen the meltdown he had with Tim Pool on his podcast?
No.
No, that sounds wild.
Oh, it's
Holy
great.
crap.
Yeah. If you go on YouTube and just type in Tim Pool, all right, the Rugged Man, I'm sure it comes right
I can
up.
only
awesome.
imagine.
that's awesome. I got to check that out.
Yeah, he got a little angry with Tim Pool. It was just like, I'm not that guy. You don't want to go there with me. I can't even do an impression of it. It's really, really good. But he got really angry with it. And it was awesome. It was fantastic.
I can just like picture that in my head.
Yes. It's really good. Now, who else? Now, is there anyone else coming up in the short term who you're releasing through your label, or
in sometime this spring, we are hoping to release. So 8BZA.
Yeah.
Yeah, should just drop something too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. BZA just dropped a Merry Christmas beat tape, which is on all streaming
Oh, no kidding.
platforms.
Oh.
So everybody should go listen to that. But when we initially, obviously BZA has always been a part of our movement, but when we like made a formal offer to be like, hey, we want to have a record of yours come out on the label, he put out what I kind of consider like his magnum opus, is an album he did a few years ago. It's called Bobby's Boom Bap Recital.
okay.
It's like his producer composition album, and he basically hired and picked and curated all of the like vocal features on the record,
Yeah.
and produced it and put them all together. And it's a phenomenal
It's crazy,
album.
yeah.
It's just it has Acrobatic, Mr. Lift, Crime Apple. My favorite rapper Cody Pope is on there. Tons of people are on. There's just Time and Lep, who don't even really perform anymore, so it's probably one of the last recordings that they did.
Yeah.
There's just these phenomenal verses on there. But much like a lot of us as artists, BZA didn't have a budget behind him to do some grand release. He didn't have money to do a physical release. There wasn't. He was doing it all himself. And he put so much into making it that it didn't even get like a huge digital distribution.
Okay.
So one of the things that we wanted to do first was give that record like a really grand release. And over the years, we've been trying to like put a CD package together that really like is special and put some video content around it. So this spring really is hopefully going to be the Bobby's Boom Bap Recital spring, as well as some more stuff from us.
Yeah. Biz is incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't interviewed him I got to get him on the show.
Yeah, he's always got stuff going
I'll
on.
tell you, man. I went to the studio. It was like 2 weeks ago, and ran into BZA there, and what he was doing that night. I was like taking videos and stuff. Just the way he manipulates samples and audio is like no one's doing it like him. Like he could literally, you could smack this wall and he'll make a full beat out of it. Like he's on another level, and I think he'll get his flowers soon, where everybody really, can see that he can just he's the mad scientist for. That's what I call it. He just can anything, any sound. He's manipulating it in his way, and it's really incredible to see when he's in his zone at the studio.
Yeah.
I hate to be biased because I'm obviously like his friend.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you enough. Like as a record label owner, and obviously like BZA is an artist, so I'm not saying that he's not challenging in his own right. But but BZA he's the type of artist you want to work with as a label owner, because he's doing things that he was going to do even if you weren't in the sorry.
That's all right.
he's doing things that he was going to do even if you weren't in the picture.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, is you want an artist that's motivated enough to do it themselves, so that when you come in and partner with them, you're just adding fuel to something that was already there.
Yeah.
If you just know a great artist, but they're not driven to do it on their own, you're like pulling teeth sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's like they clearly didn't want it if they weren't already doing it,
Yeah.
And so with BZA, you almost have to chase him sometimes, because he's so motivated that he's dropping stuff constantly, and you got to and so that's where it's like we have a unique friendship and relationship with him, because it's like he was doing this before either of us anyways. So it's like you got to give him room to do his thing and let him breathe creatively. But we just feel fortunate that like he still like wants to partner with us and do stuff with us as well, because we like to find those little gems every now and then and be like, here's how we can help bring that into the world.
Right. Have you ever, I mean, obviously I don't expect you to mention any names, but have you guys ever run into a situation where you work with somebody who maybe just doesn't?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess for, not too many, fortunately, but I would say we've had one release that didn't work out, and in total we've maybe worked with 3 artists that it just wasn't the right kind of relationship.
Yeah.
But fortunately we only ever really were in one situation where an artist record came out and it just didn't really work out. And those things are tough in the moment. And for us being so early in the label, I think it definitely felt like, oh, like what did we do wrong? Like what but as time went on, like we realized like we did the best we could.
Yeah.
And it just like everything's not going to always work out.
Yeah.
And I like to say that Hellhound is for anyone, but Hellhound isn't for everyone.
Right.
Right.
Like
we are so open to what kind of music, what kind of art, the kind of people we work with. Like we really we have a wide scope and a love of art.
Yeah.
But we also have a certain framework within which we like to do things, and we have a certain aesthetic and a certain rawness and vulnerability and honesty and work ethic, and that's not for everybody. And so it's not, goes back to like what I was saying earlier, is like we can't hold other artists to the way that we do things.
Mm-hmm.
We do what works best for us, and if there's other people that we love their art, we just have to kind of acclimate to what's going to work for them to be the most genuine.
Yeah, exactly. And you could tell when the passion's not fully there,
right,
as well, and it kind of sucks the air out of the room. So you kind of learn real quick when you get into a couple sessions with somebody, and kind of off the first or second day where you're like, it's either going to be way too much work in us pushing them, and if they're not in that creative space, or if they're not fully committed, then we're not going to push you to like get there. Like you gotta have that. Like that's just an artist in general, or musician, or whatever. Like you gotta have the passion, or else it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. We have time. You guys want to play one more?
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
Twist our arm, right?
Want to do the last one?
Yeah, I guess we should. So this is the title track from Giant Steps in Gate City, which is affectionately called Giant Steps.
Okay. Cody Pope and Byron G.
My lace is tight enough for all my giant steps now. Easier every day to wake, say I'm the best now. Life be like some big beautiful breasts now, or a windy day when all the sun dresses out. Even when stressed out, stop and take another hit of this life and understand why you loving it. No one can do what you do, that's why the glove won't fit. Keep working hard towards your dreams, you'll make so much of it. These marathons take training more than saying words. Sometimes you're on the path alone, that's evading herds. You lucky if your lifeline is exchanging verbs. There was a time in my life I was exchanging hurt. Went from thinking I'd be dead before the age of 30 to making it with words and trying not to be too wordy. For every setback, something to look forward to. You've been working, and soon enough you'll be soaring too. These giant steps come by learning how to box first. Life's a fight, you might want to learn how to box first. Progress means getting up when you beat down. Dedicated to the babies born feet down. These giant steps come by learning how to walk first. Life's a fight, you might want to learn how to box first. Progress means getting up when you beat down. Dedicated to the babies born. I meet clowns all the time, most them fade away. Not enough battery for all the games they play. Learn how to center, step on your own side. Don't let these cowardice people lead up your own time. You know you best, so find a path to the rest. Understand it takes time, trial by risk and test. Had many people tell me I was too headstrong, but when I do this, all those people will be dead wrong. People not wrong for offering ways to make the day, but everyone got preferences how to make the steak. There will be times when you know you gotta walk alone. Let the power of your actions be the message shown. Plenty of thrones, don't worry about what the kings say. You play life like shredding guitars like Ingwe. How much can you do before the end credits play? All depends on how much you let get in the way. These giant steps come by learning how to walk first. Life's a fight, you might want to learn how to box first. Progress means getting up when you beat down. Dedicated to the babies born feet down. These giant steps come by learning how to walk first. Life's a fight, you might want to learn how to box first. Progress means getting up when you beat down. Dedicated to the babies born feet down. Preach.
Well done, guys.
Thank you, man.
Well done. Well done.
Appreciate you having us.
Cody Pope and Byron G here with us live in studio. What should our listeners know about where to find you guys online to keep up with everything that you're doing?
So everything in our universe can always be found at hellhoundpublishing.com. We're really active on YouTube right now. So we have a Hellhound Publishing YouTube channel. We would love for people to go over there and hit the old subscribe button. We're putting out music. We're putting out behind the scenes videos. We got our documentary. It's going to be out Monday.
Oh yeah. I'm very curious to see that.
Thank you. Yeah. So it's my first like big video editing project. It's like a 40-minute documentary just about our whole journey.
It was cool. I saw it yesterday for the first time.
Really? Yeah.
I was blown away. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So everything hellhoundpublishing.com, Hellhound Publishing on YouTube. If you're on social media, I'm at Cody Pope HC across everything. He's at BG603 across everything, and at Hellhound Publishing, of course, too. But Hellhound till we're underground.
All right. I love it. I love it. Anything we didn't talk about that you want to make sure our listeners know about? Anything we didn't mention? You guys always got a lot going on, so we'll want to make sure we didn't leave anything out.
No, so we're we mentioned earlier, this is our kind of weekend wrap up for us. This was the first thing we have going on, so thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomorrow night, Sunday, we're going to be at the Shaskeen for Rap Night. It's going to be our last show of the year, kind of a holiday wrap up show, and then Monday is the premiere of the documentary. And other than that, I would just say that our new album, Giant Steps in Gate City, is available anywhere that you listen to music. Please take an opportunity to listen to it. That's all. All we could ask is for people to just take the time to listen to it. It's 18 songs, and if you don't like it, hopefully you'll have a better day after somehow. But I think you will.
Very good, guys. Thank you so much.